Hey y'all, this is Cindy. I'm the Tireless Tangler. I want to welcome you all back to the 100 Days of Zentangle Project 2021. Thank you so much for being with me today and each day on this journey. Our tangle for today is going to be a Zentangle original that I have not drawn in quite some time. It is called Molygon, and we're going to have some fun with that. I'm going to use today any or all of these tools. Particularly, I have chosen a lavender watercolor from Arteza, and I'm just going to put a little splotch on my tile and go from there. Okay, so let's get started. Now you might notice that I have written in some bijouisms on my turntable, things that help me remember important parts of the Zentangle method. Slow down, big one for me. Focus, breathe, gratitude, huge, relax. What I would love for you guys to do is put in comments your favorite bijouism. Bijou is a little snail, and you can read about him on Tangle Patterns or on Zentangle.com. And he reminds us of some very important parts of the Zentangle method. So you guys leave me your favorite bijouism in comments, and I'm going to add them to my turntable. Okay? All right, let's get started with this. So I have not used this color before. This is my first time to open this one, but I love purple, as I've told you guys, and I just am gonna have some fun. This is lavender, and I'm just gonna squeeze out some water, sort of splotch it out, and no rhyme or reason. And I'm gonna get some on the tip of my brush. I'm going to squeeze out water as I go, and I'm just going to push it wherever it wants to go. Now this seems to be less pigmented than some of the darker colors that I've used. And I don't want to let it get too much in one spot so that we are no longer able to see the pen. All right, I think that's all I want to do. I really didn't want it to be a big deal. And clean my brush. Oops. Yeah, that's all right. Just be something interesting. Just as will that. And I'll pat that dry here in just a minute, as soon as I get my brush cleaned out. Don't want to leave that dirty. All right. Now, I am going to pat out Okay, as always, you're going to want to make sure this is completely dry before you add any ink to it. All right, I am going to draw with my 01 in black today, and before I do that, I'm just going to run my hand over this and sort of brush off any spare residue that might be there so that that doesn't gum up my pen. And I'm also going to keep a paper towel handy to wipe my nib, my pen nib on, just in case. All right. On tanglepatterns.com under Molygon, there is a great wealth of information and videos on this tangle. It's been around. It's one of the originals. It's been around a long time. I've seen it done many ways. The articulated Molygon version is one that I've really enjoyed, and one that we did in seminar for teacher training. And so I have seen this done many ways, but it has always been a challenge for me because of the RIing. And so I want to challenge myself to do this again. Now, all that to say that this was also the tangle that gave me my very first Zen experience with Zentangle. It was the very first time I actually understood what tangling was about. So I have mixed feelings about doing this today, but you can do beautiful things with this. And I saw, as I was looking at what Linda Farmer had on Tangle Patterns about this today, I noticed that there was something new on there, and I watched Maria Thomas do this sort of in a radial pattern, and which was also very, very cool. So let's get started and see what happens today. I'm going to be intentionally trying to do the articulated version. However, if that is not the version you want to do, you don't have to, of course. You can do this in whatever way you like, and none of it would be wrong, okay? The key to Molygon is not the shape or how you draw it. It is the auraing. And so let me show you how this starts. This starts with an open C stroke, like this. I think I might extend this just a little bit. Maria Thomas compared that to her fingernail in how large it was. That's a pretty good comparison. Okay. Then you're going to make another line that connects this by going out like that. And she recommends that you start with this internal curve and then you add the outer one. All right. Now I'm going to do, or attempt to do, the articulated version, okay? But I may curve mine around, we'll see. On the articulated version, it starts the same way, basically, but you add it to the end, and each one gets progressively smaller. Now, whether that's or not that's what I'm going to get today, I don't know, but we're going to give it a try. Okay, so wherever you want to start on this is up to you. All right. But this is the key. You are going to aura this line, this outer line, about 3/4 of the way. And you're going to get a different look depending on whether you start that aura up here at the corner or here in the middle or over here or whatever you're going to do with it. That's what's going to give you the different configurations, okay? So I'm going to do the articulated version, but I'm also going to want to sort of curl this around. So I'm going to be playing with it a little bit. And so keep that in mind as you draw yours. You don't have to do what I am doing. This is the most important step in Molygon. This next stroke. What happens after this is less important. Whether these end up curved or pointed doesn't matter. It's can you get this arid stroke on the same page, basically, as the last one? And can you get each one to be as consistent as possible with the last? Now, I find that people tend to draw Molygon different ways, and frequently I have trouble getting my ends to be pointy, and it does not matter. I've seen it done both ways, okay? So I'm going to now start making these slightly smaller. And again, this is the version that I'm doing. You do not have to do yours this way. But whatever way you decide to take this, take your time with this stroke. This is the stroke that's going to make the rest of this look right or cool or whatever. Right? Well, I was going to get smaller. Apparently, I'm going to get bigger first, and then I'm going to get smaller. So you can see that depending on where I start, my aura is going to turn this, right? Now I got in a hurry with this one and made it a little bit too wide. I think it's going to be okay, but I need to slow down. Once again, I got in a hurry. So slow down, Cindy. Every muscle in my body is tense right now, and I need to relax. That's because we forgot to breathe. So I'm going to breathe real quickly now. Okay. All right. It's going to be fine. Let's relax. There. Cindy, come on. Guess I'm going to be pulling to the left today. There we go. That's better. So I'm basically following these in the direction that I want them to go. And I control how large or small they are by how much or how long that aura line is. All right? Now, the shape consistency again is less important than the aura consistency here, right? This is not as cool as the rest of these. Not that that's a complaint. It's just a fact. So I want to really try. I probably should not have done that, which was I approached the way that I drew this section differently than I have the last ones, and so I want to not do that anymore. Now, at this point, I'm running out of room here, and of course I can hollabaugh this, but I don't have to. I can take this now, and again, let's draw towards us like we have been. It's time to make this smaller. Okay, and now I'm going to start turning this back out in this other direction. And also get smaller. If you don't take your time on any other part of this, take your time when you draw this aura right there. Of course, I want you to take your time on all of it, but really particularly on that. Because that is what's going to give you this look. Now, isn't this looking cool? It's not hard. You've got to let go of the fact that it's not perfect. It's not going to be. But can you make your aura lines between them perfect? Or as close to that as possible. Careful, I guess, is the word I want to use for that. Here. I think that's where I'll stop. Now, the fun with Molygon is the decorating, is the embellishing of each one. Now, you have multiple possibilities. Where is my example tile? Molygon has as many possible fills as there are, you know, stars in the sky. And so I really recommend you check out some of the Zentangle videos on this. A good idea, good game plan for these is to make a careful aura on the inside so that whatever decorating you do is going to have some separation. Yeah, something like that. And then from here you can, this one is my favorite. I saw this on a piece of Molly Hollabaw's art, and she's the one that came up with this, I think. And you sort of sneak a little orb in there, and then I saw her do what I loved, which is sort of make these into leaves, which I thought was so beautiful. And you can turn those whichever way you want them to go. It doesn't matter. Right, like that. And earlier today, I saw on the radial version that Maria was doing, I saw them do a crescent moon variation, which was done like this. Everyone seems to have their own fill favorites for this tangle, so go and look out there and see what you like. You can, for free, get on the Zentangle Mosaic app and search Molygon and see, you know, probably hundreds of examples of the way people have done this tangle in different ways, and they're all beautiful and wonderful and worthy. There is no one way to do this. One of the things I love best about this tangle is the possibility to do whatever you want. Another thing that it works really, really well in here See if I can quickly do a Caravellaro, which is, of course, not possible. But you can perk the inside of this. That's a very effective Molygon fill, and one I see Maria use a lot. Yeah, so something like this. Whoops, sorry. Like that. Yeah, something like that. So go find whatever fill you're going to use and love. All right, I command you. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm going to start with some of these internal auras on here, and yeah, I'm just gonna go for it. I thought about changing color for the decorating, but I think on this tile I'm going to go ahead and do black. And I am going to do my favorite fill. I have not gotten to draw this in a long time. And so I'm going to just make myself happy with it. And I know I am going to see all kinds of gorgeous stuff from you guys. I am shaking up a storm today. So of course I'm frustrated. But I've been breathing. And I'm going to try to take stuff like that in stride. Sort of accept that it's going to happen. And be willing to move on when it does. I think even more than the shaking, the jerking is frustrating to me. Okay. In stride. Must be time for everyone to go to lunch. I wish I could, like, put a red light up in front of the house and make all the traffic detour. Think they'd go for that? I don't either. You guys are going to see this doesn't have to be perfect to be extremely effective, which is what I'm going to be telling myself each time something like this goes on. It doesn't have to be perfect to be effective. All right. So I know I've got messages on Instagram, guys. I haven't been on there to check, or haven't had the time on there yet to check them all. And there's enough to have some to check. So be patient with me. I'm going to get to them. When we're in the middle of this thing, my priorities have to be number one, Mari, and number two, the next day's video. And then after that, everything else follows as it will or can. Now, there's not going to be a whole lot we can do in these little ones. And so we may change up what we do in those, and that's okay. All right, now I am going to do my favorite fill, and that is basically to put a little sort of a division here with this little sort of V shape, and tuck a little orb in behind. And if you want, you can ink around it. If you prefer to do something else, you can. And then I like to put these little leaf things in, so I'm just going to draw my little dividing line. And trying to decide which way I want to point these. I think I'm going to point them down. I just, depending on how much room I have, I just sort of stylize those, and you know, you can do as you wish, or do something completely different if that's what you want. All right, so, and you can put a different decoration in each one, although I'm not sure how that would translate. We could try it. I have to say the crescent moon one is very cool. And all those videos are available to you guys for free. And the links to them all are there on Tangle Patterns under the name Molygon. Okay. And sometimes it doesn't take much. Another effective thing to do is just to do your hatching on one side. That is also something you can do. I just find all of the different things you can do here so cool. So many of them are just elegant. And so I just find that really awesome to play around with. I encourage you to find a fill that makes you happy, that you enjoy drawing over and over and over again. Just keep in mind that that inner aura will really help you in the end. Okay. I think those are really pretty. Imperfect and all, and I tend to really like patterns that let me be imperfect, so that works out. I also want to mention that you can shift the center of these if you're doing something like this. You can shift this center wherever you like along this, right? Doesn't have to be in the exact middle, I guess is my point. If you want them to lean this way or this way, then you can certainly accentuate that if you want. So let's just draw together today. Let's just decorate, enhance. Just do something that makes you happy and relaxed. Focus on each pen stroke. Breathe. Slow down. Is it any wonder that I love bijouisms? All of the things that make a big difference in your art. He's got them all going on. Bijou is a little snail. Rick and Maria came back from a trip to Paris with Bijou. And yeah, he has become an icon. He might be a registered trademark, I'm not sure. He is fun to draw. He is drawn with little printemps and some line weight, and it is pretty cute. Maybe one of these days we'll do Bijou. Not really a tangle, but why not? River has passed out over there, and she's going to share her snores with us today. Y'all have been getting a lot of River this week. Sorry about that. But it is a nice nap. Well, it's another sunshiny but windy day today. We have had really warm temperatures. Mari and I have grilled out the last 2 nights for dinner. So that's how warm it has been, although last night was really chilly. Just a few days from the end of the month. Thank goodness February is a short month. Thank goodness. It's my current favorite leaf thing. This changes on a daily basis, depending on what mood I'm in. So you do your own thing. Or my thing. Whatever you want to do. Whatever makes you happy. Do a completely different fill if that's what makes you happy. Just be happy. If you can't be happy, which, you know, you can't always, try to be relaxed. If you're feeling down in the dumps, I want you to let your feelings of despair go. Focus on each stroke of the pen. Focus on making a little orb that is perfect. Or on leaf strokes that are great. Or orbs like perk. Or aura lines like on crescent moon. Or whatever it is that you are decorating with today. I want you to really enjoy, focus on each one of those. If your hands are shaking, try to keep some deep breaths, and then understand that the shaking is going to be part of your art, and embrace it. Live for those deckled lines, guys. It really is all in how you look at it. Are your lines awful and shaky, or are they deckled and lovely? Make sure that when you are doing your self-talk, when you're talking about yourself to yourself, make sure that you are not denigrating your art. Make sure that you are not bad-mouthing yourself. Make sure that you are not finding fault. And when people give you compliments, whether you think it's good or not, what do you do? What do you do, Mari, when someone gives you a compliment? Yeah, he's on YouTube. There's no talking to him. When somebody gives you a compliment, baby, what do you do?
Say thank you.
That's my boy. You say thank you.
Thank you.
Not you, baby. Don't forget to say thank you. Don't argue with people when they give you compliments. It's so much nicer to just say thank you, because then they get a gift from you back, and that is your gratitude for their compliment. It's all in the little things, guys. Little things matter. Compassion matters. Caring matters. The way we treat each other matters. The attitudes with which we approach our lives, the attitude with which we interact with other people makes a difference in this world. And for some of us, that is the only thing we have to share, is our attitude. So let's make it a positive thing. We choose whether or not to be angry or hateful or mean. We choose whether to be sad or happy or lonely or whatever. Now, that's not to say we have a choice about whether we are alone. I certainly do not, and have been many times in my life on my own, even in other countries. Boy, that was lonely. And as many friends as you have, you know, it's not the same as home. Now, for some people, home isn't that great a place. So wherever you are, whatever your situation, you can always look at things in two ways. You can look at them negatively, and you can look at them positively. I choose to try to be positive. I choose to try to find the things in life that are positive blessings. I am blessed to have life. I am blessed to have drawing supplies. I am blessed to have the ability to share this beautiful method with you guys around the world. Those are blessings. Those are things that I choose to focus on. Not on the scary things, not on the bad things. And I'm not saying that sometimes I don't get overwhelmed. Trust me, I'm overwhelmed a lot. But it's what you do with what you get that defines us as humans, I think. It's how you choose to deal with your adversity and your joy that defines us. So define yourselves in positive ways. And don't let people steal your joy. And don't steal your own joy by being hypercritical about something that you have almost certainly enjoyed creating. At least I hope you have. When you create your art, enjoy yourself. Take time to enjoy the process. Don't get in a hurry to rush to the end. Enjoy the creating process, because for most of us, that's where we get our love and relaxation and joy is from the creation process, not in the being finished process. So don't rush the creating process. Really dig in and enjoy this embellishing, this opportunity to decorate. I mean, most of us probably really enjoy making things look nice. You know, we enjoy the 3D quality things. We enjoy making dynamic tiles, and let's enjoy that process instead of rushing through it. Boy, I have been preachy today, haven't I? You guys do not understand the joy that I get from looking through your art on Instagram. It makes me, I have a huge grin every day by the time I finish looking at everyone's art. And I'm sorry I don't get all the comments, but I can't resist sneaking in there while I'm uploading or whatever, and looking at all of the things that you guys have created and tagged me with. It is wonderful. It is wonderful. So thank you so much for sharing your art back with me. That makes it so cool for me. Well, I managed to talk myself into a better frame of mind. Good job, Cindy. Okay, uh-oh. This is bad. Oh, what was I thinking on this? Apparently I wasn't thinking, was I? That's okay. We wanted a full-size orb on this one. We're going to get one. Think we can draw it in that way too? Why not? Luckily that Barker was in a car going by. It didn't even wake Simba up. All right. Now, I'm reaching the point where my space is getting severely limited. And so probably starting with this one, I may change my fill. Let me think about that for a second. Because I'm not going to be able to do all of the fine work with the leaf and all of that. I think this is going to be the last one we can do. So my question is, what do I want to do on these that will not make me crazy? One thing we could do is just put hatch lines through. We could do the crescent moon thing. We could do, although that would probably not take very long, probably the fastest thing here would be perk. So let's do that. And just like that, some of those stray spots that I was so concerned about earlier are gone. Okay, just like that. Sorry, let's turn this a different way for you guys. Okay. Let's fix this. A little sloppy. At this point now, we'll be just giving hints. Yeah. Not bad. I don't think we're fitting anything in that last one, so I'm not going to worry about it. So this is basically articulated Molygon. Now, you can continue to put something cute if you want. Until you just have a little like that. Now the question is, what do I want to do from here, if anything? So I think I want to use an aura around the whole thing. Although I really like all of this, and I'm wondering how loose do I want to do that? I really like how this turned out. I think I will put an aura. Let's start around the outside and see what happens. Do I want to use a PN for that? That's my next question, so that the aura would be a little bit more bold than what I have here on my regular lines. Let's try that. So I've got my PN in black, and I'm gonna just go around the edges of this. So I changed my mind. I'm gonna start in here and see where we end up. And I'm not gonna go too close. But I am gonna try to stay with the shape. I'm just gonna do those like that. And go right back to this. I don't know what that's gonna mean for the composition. Cindy, slow down. I know what that's gonna mean for the composition. All right, fun stuff. I think I want to put just a tiny bit in here. And that's it. Maybe something like that. Now, maybe I want to put another aura around the outside. Maybe this one a little further away. Let's try that. And I think I saw Maria on the one she did sort of make her outer aura kind of funny, just maybe a little bit looser. So not such an exacting one. Something like this, maybe. And then we can do something sort of we should be able to have some fun with shading here. We'll see. Just wherever you want to do them. I think Maria Thomas called this cambering or something like that, but I could have misheard her. And I don't know that what I'm doing is anything like what she did. So we're going to find out what happens. I'm going to divide that up just because I need to. Okay. I don't know what that's going to mean, but we're going to do it anyway. I think I'll do that in here too. Just, I don't know why, because I need to. Don't do this if you don't want to, because I have no idea what it's going to look like. No idea. Hopefully we're going to come up with something interesting to explain this. Other than Cindy just went crazy, which is always a good explanation because everyone will believe you. Oh, you know what we should do there? Apparently I'm going to ink this in. Learn something new every minute. All right, well, it's interesting, isn't it? Put something else in there. There you go. I have no idea what any of that means. We're going to have some fun with it, though. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to switch back to my 01 and make some trouble here because I have no idea what to do with this, but it's going to be an adventure for me. So I'm going to, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to round up here and just see what happens because I don't know what else to do. And it might give me an interesting, more finished look. Of course, it might be a mess. We don't know. That's the joy of Zentangle. We just don't know. It's the joy of discovery. Is there a book called The Joy of Zentangle? There should be. If not, I'm going to write one. Probably not. That'll never happen. Probably just keep making these silly videos. Trying to make a few people happy here and there. Trying not to get into too much trouble in life. Well, these over here looked okay. These over here are strange. I'm not saying that's bad, mind you. Just saying. Because I wanted to, that's why. Okay, well, I'm not sure what that did, but it helped a little bit, I think. I think. Let me do in these. Simba says, snore, puppies, snore. Thank you, Simba. You're the rockinest dog, bud. Well, it's definitely interesting. So now what? Let's think. I don't hate this. It's definitely interesting. I'm trying to think what I could use to sort of make this complete and tie it together and all of that. And maybe I should do some shading and then come back to this and something may occur. So I am going to use a colored pencil for shading today, and I think the violet is probably going to be as good a combo with this lavender as I can get. And So let me see what I want to do here. Now these are definitely going to get some jelly roll. That is assuming that I can get my jelly roll to work. It has not been cooperative lately. All right, so do I? Yeah, probably. So I'm not going to be able to do much on most of these, but every now and then if I have one that's larger, I will. And okay, so now I think I want to start with some of this right around the edge here, and I of course will probably come back with regular graphite or a darker like a gray colored pencil or something like that, and do some sort of standard shading with that. I think I want to start out with this violet. And so I'm just running this around that first thick aura line that I made with the pen. And I'm just going to run it along the edge like I would a graphite pencil. Just to put a little color there, a little depth. And the shade of violet seems to work well with that lavender watercolor. And even over here on the parts where I don't have any watercolor, it's still going to be fine. So remember, I tend to shade the large elements first and then go back for the detail work after. It sort of allows you to keep an eye on the overall look of things as opposed to getting too focused on the details. But then there is importance in the details as well, so it's like I've been telling y'all this week, the more work you do with your pen, the less you got to do with your pencil. So the more detail work you add in with your ink pen, the less work you'll have to do shading. All right, I made it around to the middle. So I am going to grab a clean tortillon. If it is not clean, it shall be momentarily. And run that around here. All right. Now remember, these Verathins will blend somewhat. But it's not the same completely as your graphite pencil, so you may have to go back in and do more work. But it should give you an idea of how this is going to be. Now by doing this, hopefully we are setting up this middle section to be on top. Sometimes I get a different result when I get finished, but that's sort of the intent, is to pop up the middle section over this border area. And like I said, I never know before I start what I'm going to end up with. I don't pre-plan these tiles. I sort of do them right along with you. And sometimes I have a general idea of what I want to do, but like in this case, no true plan. And that is the point. It's, it's supposed to be impromptu. It's supposed to be spur of the moment. There's nothing wrong with having a plan. But for the ultimate relaxation part, you have your pattern, and at that point you want to let your pattern be the leader. Let your pen guide you. Okay, so those lines and the line and the rounding in here are really interesting, I think. This definitely brings this part up over, and I may add some more of this color, and I may add it in here. Where's my pencil? Sort of. Sort of like this. So that at the apex of these, there'll be a highlight. I need my pencil sharper for this. Definitely need it to be sharper. Then you've sort of got this highlight going on in the middle it's more of a natural look. Yeah, something like that. So I think that may be interesting for the outer edge. Let me sharpen this. It's getting dull. So right now I'm thinking about this stuff in here. The detail work in here. I think this is probably how I'm going to handle this outer edge, and I may switch to doing this with an ink pen, but I'd like to do it in purple, and I don't think I have a 01 in purple right now. So I may just use colored pencil for that. I think that's how I'm going to handle that. Maybe a little less on this side. Anyway, so now as far as these go, I am trying to decide if I want to stay with the violet and sort of use that to shade these leaf shapes. Just a little contouring. Or now I am able to, it's not the one I want. I am able to erase these somewhat, so I'm going to try something that I'm not sure whether I'm going to want to do that way or not. And so you can look and see what I end up with, and you know, you decide what you want to do on yours. I'm not sure how effective this will be with a different color over what I'm doing here. But I can do something like this and use a color, color that will go, I don't know if green and purple are complementary or whatever, but yeah, that actually works fairly well over the purple. So I may take this out and go in through here with this, and this is a Verithin in apple green. I like the yellowy greens. I also have a true green, but I like the yellowy greens. Sometimes I put them down and I put yellow over them because they're not yellowy enough. And I'm just going to take my time and look at that. We're coloring our own art. Isn't this better than adult coloring books? Now we go, yeah, now we can say I'm an artist and not I'm a colorist. Huh? See there? See what we did? Yeah, this is going to look good. Once I get that jelly roll, hopefully, will be working or be cooperative and let me dot it in here and there. This will work really well, I think. Now I am going to have to lift this out before I get over there, but that's okay. I just couldn't decide if I wanted to do this in a pretty monochrome sort of a way, or if I wanted to spice it up with some different color. And so I think I have answered my question. Oh, where's that handy eraser? All right. See, so it does lift out quite a bit of the Verithin if you need to. So that's another reason I don't mind using them, or I like to use them so much with my Zentangle art, is because if I need to lift them out, I can, and I can still blend them if I want. But I probably could just as easily use my polychromos, although that would not erase. At least I am doubtful about that. Now I'm not doing anything fancy here. I'm just coloring it all green. I may dot in some highlights here and there, but for this type of thing, I'm not going to sweat, you know, leaving highlights and all that business. I'm just coloring them green. That's what I got for you. I think the pen work and the watercolor and all of that is going to be fine here. Yeah, I like this. Yep, sometimes it amazes me how these turn out. It amazes me. I just get lucky sometimes. I can't tell you. You know, this isn't the best thing, but still, it's going to work really well, I think, when we're done. If I were going to yellow these up, I would use my, in Prismacolor, I would use my canary yellow. In polychromas, I would probably use the the cad yellow. I think that's it. It's not light, it's just cad yellow. Cadmium yellow. So we have separated our pattern from the background with color here, and I think it's going to be really effective. And then whatever silliness I decide to do over here, it's all gonna work together, I think. And there will be silliness. Don't think otherwise. There will definitely be silliness. Silliness is a very important part of art. I'm serious about practicing art, but the art itself does not need to be serious. No reason you can't have some fun. All right, now the rest of these are not going to have this sort of green hint, but that's okay with me. I think by then your eye is following this shape around, and so I think, well, I suppose we could put just a hint of green across there. I think that one I'll leave. But there's no reason we can't hint a little bit at the green. Here. All right. Now, where's my violet? Okay, so I think I want to put some color to one side of each of these lines. Sort of give me a little contouring here. This is, again, a violet Prismacolor Very Thin. Not violent, but violet. It could become violent, but probably not today. All right. So, yeah, I sort of have another plan for some of this. All right. Let's go ahead and do that. I am trying to put flicks here, but my pencil is dulling so fast that I'm not going to get anything really good out of this for very long. All right, now over here, the question becomes, do I want to handle these a little differently? Now, some of them could be done in this way. However, something like that. Well, I do like that effect. Let's see how far I can go with it. These will necessarily be smaller and shorter. This one is why I was sort of hesitating, because when you get these short or small like this, then you have trouble getting that highlight in. But we'll see. If I could find my mono zero, I could definitely put that right back in. Now I think I'm going to grab like a blue in Verithin and come back in here and flick some alternate colors in there just to add a little bit of color interest. But of course you don't have to. You don't have to do any of this. You can do your own thing. This takes time and patience, and you may or may not want to spend the time or patience to do this. You are basically making little hatched lines with your pencil, with your colored pencil here, which is why it's really important for it to be sharp. And while mine was by no means dull, this is sharp pencil. going to be pretty. I think going to the extra trouble with this is going to make this something much better than just leaving it, you know, sort of how it was. Of course, I could be wrong. As my son tells me regularly, I'm wrong all the time. Of course, he's wrong about that because I'm never wrong, but there are opinions that might differ. Yeah, I'll keep trying this, but I don't know in the end what we're gonna have. Some of these we're not going to be able to fit anything in there, but just a hint. But just a bit of dark color there will make a difference. Remember to shift the direction that you're flicking to match sort of whatever the space that you're working in is giving you, if that makes any sense. Probably not. Like, don't keep doing this one straight across like this because it's not going to match with this. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, you can call me up and yell at me later. Some of you guys are getting out your pencils. Okay, what's the number? No yelling at Cindy. Cindy doesn't take yelling well. Cindy goes in her room and cries then. Nobody needs that. No yelling. I can smell the finish line from here. I'm getting in a hurry and I need to slow down. I think I'll just do one side on those and hope for the best. I think mixing another color in there is going to help me a little bit with that. There. All right. Oh yeah, that made a big difference, didn't it? Big difference. All right, let's dot in. Let's hope the jelly roll will cooperate and dot in some white on my orbs here. It really is being difficult. You can see this is jelly roll tin. It should be slobbering all over everything, and this is terrible. Here. Quickly. It's so nice when a jelly roll cooperates. But when it doesn't, oh my God, is there anything more frustrating? Probably, but not many things. Just gonna try to hit the middle one. Whether that will help me, I do not know. There. All right. So I still am going to mess with this more, I'm telling you now. One of the things that I may do after I get done adding the blue in is to bring my Prismacolor in and really smooth and set in your highlights on each one of these. But I'm going to wait and do that until after I add my smooth. And since we are already at 2 hours, I am going to stop now. Thank you guys so much for being with me today. I hope you have really enjoyed some relaxation, some coloring, some drawing, and I hope that you are in a better place now than you were when you started today. I hope that you have found the joy in drawing that I have found, and I am going to see you for more tomorrow. Thanks for being with me.